everyone, welcome to Lowdown, your source for music, arts, and entertainment in the Akron area and beyond.
We've got a great first episode coming your way for the start of 2020. We'll be taking a look at Akron Steel Drum Band, Stella and Soul, and a pop electronic artist on his music.
You won't want to miss a thing, so stick around because Lowdown starts now.
Hey everyone, I'm Sophia.
And I'm Sarah. Thanks for tuning in.
So first up, we've got a cover on the Akron Steel Drum Band.
Wait, Akron has a steel drum band?
You bet they do. We went and covered their concert that was held at the Akron Civic Theater. Not only did they teach us about their unique music from the steel drums, but they also demonstrated cultural history.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. Sounds like they steal the spotlight.
They definitely do. Let's take a look.
My name is Matt Dudak, and I'm the Artistic Director of the University of Akron Steel Drum Band, and I'm an adjunct professor in the School of Music and the Percussion Studio. I've been Artistic Director here since 1998. When I finished my master's, I became Artistic Director, so I've been here over 20 years. Big celebration for our band this year. We're celebrating 40 years. The University of Akron Steel Band is one of the oldest collegiate steel bands in the United States. It started in 1980 by Dr. Larry Snyder, who's a distinguished professor of percussion, who is still teaching here, and he started in 1980, and at that time there were only 2 other college programs in the U.S. Today's concert is part of a family series at the Civic, and it's sponsored by Children's Hospital, I believe. What's a little different about this show is we get into a little more of the history and background about where the steel drums come from, how they're developed over time in Trinidad and Tobago, how they end up in the United States, and this particular concert we're celebrating Carnival, which is a big part of the history of the steel drum, but also there's many Carnival celebrations throughout the Caribbean and Brazil, and we're going to play some music that comes from that sort of tradition. One thing we try and do with our students, our percussion students here, they're all percussion majors, music education and performance, and graduate students too. It's part of our curriculum. Besides the steel band, we do classical percussion, orchestral percussion, Brazilian percussion. We do African drumming, particularly from Ghana, and contemporary music as well. But the steel band's a big part of what we do. It's important to our curriculum in that it teaches, all the music we do, it teaches the culture and the history and about the people of the instrument, not just the drums and rhythms, but we try to get into the background of why these rhythms exist, why this music exists, how it functions, and we think it's really important to study all of those aspects, not just how to play, but to understand the history of it. But as far as the future of the steel band, we're already seeing kind of the results of that, because as I mentioned, some of the alumni we're going to have come back are now retired band directors who have started steel band programs, and so they were members of this band in the 80s. They went on to become band directors, start their own steel drum programs, and then have sent their students to the university. So it's this whole circle of life kind of thing. But you see steel bands everywhere now. Hoban High School in town doesn't have a band program. They have just a steel band program. They have 150 kids playing steel drums. Jackson High School, one of our alums as well, has a big steel band program down in the Massillon area. So you're seeing these bands kind of pop up all over the place over the years since 1980 when our band started, and now these band directors are retiring. They're also training younger people who are going on to be music educators who will then start their own steel drum programs. So it's kind of become not commonplace yet, but it's a big part of the music education scene. Today's concert will be, it's always a lot of fun because we have just a really mixed audience of young kids, people who've never seen steel drums before, many who have, and it's fun to teach them about what we do. And one of the features of the concert today is that we don't do in April, is we're doing some samba drumming from Brazil. Our band is only for percussion majors, unfortunately, but you can become what they call a jumbie, which is basically a fan. We're on Instagram and Facebook. It's UA Percussion Studio, and we'll be playing at E.J. Thomas Hall, which I think students get discounted rates for tickets. It's April 18th. It's a really great show. We feature a local middle school steel band from Miller South in town here that I direct. They'll be playing in the lobby. We have a bunch of alumni coming back, which is really cool, and to play with us, of course. And we're actually featuring a lot of music of Cliff Alexis, who is the person who built all of our drums, who passed away about a year ago. So we're kind of celebrating him as well, because without him, there's no steel band here. I think a lot of people on campus don't know that we exist, and just for whatever reason. And I think the more we can spread about the word about what our band does, it's a lot of fun. The music is fun. We do all different styles of music, and I've never had anybody get upset about, get angry about listening to steel pan music. It's very happy Caribbean party music, and that's what we try and share, as well as where this instrument comes from.
The Akron Steel Drum Band will be having their end of the year concert in April at E.J. Thomas Hall, so make sure to catch them there.
In the meantime, we're going to our first commercial break. Lowdown will be right back. Welcome back. For our next package, we have Stella Lumina and Sol Lumiere. We got to sit down with the duo and talk about their musical style and inspirations before their show at the Uncorked Wine Bar right here in Akron.
Stella and Sol have a unique style that incorporates multiple instruments and genres into a free-flowing sound that gets the audience on their feet too. Let's check it out.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Jordan, aka Stella Lumina.
And I'm Sol Lumiere, Arquette.
How are you, Zips?
Yeah, I mostly do a lot of singing. I play a little bit of keys. Jordan can pick up pretty much any instrument, just figure it out in her own way.
Our style, our music is very unique, and our whole goal is to just get people dancing and get people feeling free and feeling creative.
Live in your truth. Be creative.
Yeah.
Get down and dance.
That's what it's all about.
Like nobody's watching, you only
Right.
got this one life, or multiple, but in this
right
one
here,
you're in
you got
right now, you might as well just do you.
Right, and live your daydreams. Stella Lumina means illuminated star, and I think we all have that illumination inside if we're able to just get past the fears of doing stuff wrong, And so, yeah, that's where it comes from. What about you, Sol?
Mine's pretty similar. Sunlight, Sol Lumiere, it's Latin. I resonated with it because I love the sun. I think sunshine makes everybody happy, and especially living in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, right?
It gets hard without sun here. So I just think we all have sunlight. It's just an internal thing that we have to make our own happiness sometimes compensate for us not having sun.
Yeah.
We met at a drum circle.
It was super synchronous.
Yeah, I was getting ready to leave, and I was giving everybody a hug.
And I just arrived.
I like to give really long hugs, and so she saw me hugging a bunch of different people before I left, and then I just saw her, and I was like, hey, I don't know you, but I'm just gonna give you a hug.
But I saw her giving the hugs that I give, not the 10 seconds, not the 20 seconds, She gave
We're
the
done.
real one. No, she gave the real
I
one.
gave a really good
And
hug.
I was like, that must be what I look like. I hope she gives me a hug. And yeah, it was literally in passing on the way out. And ever since then, we've been pretty stuck like glue.
I stalked your Instagram and I was like, oh, she makes music too? Because I made music with this other dude, which I still do right now, but
Oh, yeah.
I was super interested that she made music as well. I was like, we should jam sometime.
And we've been just figuring it out every day. And yeah, we just got it kind of wild, and our sound has developed so much more, and I'm so excited to see where it goes because it's already come so far. All those songs were the answers to a lot of my hardest times in life, where I was so lost. I remember just being in a really hard, really bad place, and I remember coming fresh off of a heart-wrenching fight, and I picked up my guitar, and this song, Love Shines Brighter Than Night, came through. And every song came like that. It came kind of already done, and it also, in the words, were the answers, were the blessing to help me get out of whatever I was at. So every single song on that album was really meant to just inspire my own transformation in music form, as well as I just went from like the professional skateboarding world and decided like, okay, I'm gonna like beeline and fully go into music with like no backup plan. So that is also what that album was about, was just about doing it. And I would say love is the basis of every one of those songs. And each one of them hold a very near and dear part of my heart. Gaia My Fire is huge for me because Gaia is Mother Earth, and fire is like the insatiable fire that I have
song.
to do good for the world. So yeah, that is those are two of my favorite ones on that. But actually, my favorite ones are yet to come. With the inspiration from Soul, my music and that was Acoustic Spirit. So it's literally just pretty much me and a guitar and my friend Ace adding some flavor. But from there to here, this album and this EP that I'm doing with her, I got another album now called Transform Nations, and we're doing an EP together, which is gonna be all sorts of special.
Oh yeah.
It's come night and day from my first album, so I'm so excited for you guys to hear it tonight.
I think our musical interests are completely different.
Right.
But that's what makes our music so good. For myself, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, like big, powerful voices. Growing up with doing a bunch of vocal training, that was a lot of the songs that I sang, and I always am listening to the voice when I listen to music. Jordan's is completely different than mine.
Yeah, I really vibed with a lot of Amy Winehouse, and I think I vibe most with her vulnerability, with like where she let herself show to other people. That was pretty big for me, 'cause she was like very raw, and I loved the soul in her voice. So Amy Winehouse would be one. Asaf Avidan, who has the One Day Reckoning song, is probably what most people know. His voice has inspired mine to no end. Just it showed me what is possible in a human voice, and I like that a lot. But I honestly just kind of stumbled my way through and found my own type of sound. So I guess my biggest musical influence now is her. she's showing me like there was this was how much I could do, and there was so much belting, and there was so much like there was actually a lack of control is what I should say. But I see her high and I see her low, and I'm just like, I can do that too with practice. So yeah, we've come really far really quick. And I have a feeling just opportunity after opportunity is going to present itself in a way that we're ready for.
That's our order for the universe.
Yeah.
The universe is asking what we want, that's what we want.
Yeah, we're putting it out there. We're intending that our music reach the masses and inspire everybody. So that's what's next. And the way that's going to come, that's going to be what's the exciting part. J-Tay Surf is my pro skater / art muralist / music page. Stella Lumina Official is my music page on Instagram. But our group on Facebook is Stella and Soul.
Mine is Arcaditude, that's my personal page. And then my other one is Lumiere Soul.
And we are .GRATEFUL. Grateful to be here right now
You're so
and
cheesy.
to be able to talk to you guys.
Stella and Soul really lit up the place. Be on the lookout for their next album, Transform Nations, and don't forget to follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
You don't want to miss what we have in store. Lowdown will be right back. Next up, we have an interview with a local Akron artist and fellow University of Akron student, Austin Salter.
We'll be featuring two of the first songs he ever wrote, Rescue and Touch. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Lowdown. I'm Tyler Dillinger, interviewing singer-songwriter Austin Salter. So, Austin, let's hear a little bit about you. What's your major? What kind of music do you do?
I'm a criminal justice major. I'm in my last year of undergrad, and I make pop electronic music.
Okay. Could you give us a sort of a definition of what that might mean?
I like to experiment with genres, so I don't really like labeling myself as an artist, but if I had to give a broad spectrum, I would say pop electronic. But within that lies like trap and ambient stuff, just so many different sounds.
Okay. What was the first kind of music that you created? Like, what was the first genre you worked on?
So when I was 11, I got my first
That's a
album.
little early.
I know. Well, I started really early. I got Loose by Nelly Furtado, that album. I used to just like mimic her singing. And like I used to always just imitate like female singers and stuff. And then I started singing in church. I recorded my first song when I was 14, freshman year in high school. I had like a really crappy headset and I just like recorded vocals into that. And I used to like cover other people's songs. But that's like when I started writing my own songs. And I would go down the street to my childhood friend's studio and then I would just like record stuff there. I didn't know what I was doing, but that's how it all started.
Okay. And I actually, listening to Rescue and just like a small bit of Touch, the two songs that we're going to be featuring here, I can hear the sort of the feminine intonation that you use, just because that was a major influence for you. So it's good to know that was actually like a basis for your beginning, instead of it just like being off the wall. Hey, I'll be a little bit more light in tone, you know. So what is the story behind Rescue? Like what inspired you to write that?
Okay, so I was like, it was towards the end of my second year at Akron U, and I was changing my major so much, and I wasn't going to graduate on time, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my future. I just knew it had to involve music, and I kind of like got to a really dark place. I was like depressed and stuff, so I wrote that song in my basement, and it kind of just came out in like 15 minutes. It was like very conversational, and what a lot of people don't know about the song is I was talking to myself in the lyrics. It's not about someone I love or about somebody I care about. It's about myself. And so that kind of just came from an episode, the dark night of my soul, so to speak. But yeah, that's what inspired the song, just like feelings and bouts of depression.
Okay. So mentioning the decision that your career had to involve music, what inspired you to be a criminal justice major?
So
because that's a
very good question.
Yeah.
So I want to go back and get my master's after I graduate this year, and I want to go to law school. And I
Okay.
realized you can do a lot with music in law. So if I, study law, then maybe I can become a music lawyer or a copyright lawyer, and that can help me, get my foot in the door as far as like connections and like meeting with people in the industry, and like plus the money's nice, but like that's not the reason you study something in college.
Yeah.
Fun fact is I actually had, like I said, I was changing my major so much, I did music for like a semester, and it didn't work for me because they were like, you got to do vocal lessons and then you have to learn an instrument like piano or something, and I just like couldn't, and I had to learn how to read music too, and I could not become accustomed to it. Like music for me is just like offhand, like I just do everything. I just make it up from a space that like derives from somewhere in my head or in my heart, and it just comes out like that. There is no like training to it.
I got you. So let's backtrack a little bit to talk about Touch. What was the inspiration behind that? Feel free to talk as much about it as you want.
So I want to say end of 2017, I just started like emailing people on the internet, like producers I would find on SoundCloud, and I'd be like, hey, like, can we collab on something? Like, I'm a singer, like, I don't have anything out, but like, you should like take a chance on me. And like this producer, Max, like that's the guy who produced the song, he actually answered back and he was like, I like your voice. And then he was like, send me a friend request on Facebook. So I sent him a friend request, and then we started talking through Facebook Messenger. And then he just like sent me a 45-second clip of Touch, of like what the song is now. Okay. And like I just like came up with like this really bouncy, jovial like vocal melody, because I was like, I wanted to contrast like the darkness of the sound, and I was like, let's add like a little fun to it, So I think that's what inspired the melody, the lyrics. So it's all about a crush, like it's all about things unfolding and you don't know where things are going. So I like to tell a story with my lyrics. I don't like just make meaningless songs and just put them out there because they sound good,
Yeah, because there's a lot of musicians who just like, they find something that's fun to say, and then they just say it enough times that they can fill a 3-minute gap.
Yeah, so I liked the experimental vibe of the song. So I was at the very beginning of my career, like I didn't have to worry about what people are going to think of it because I didn't have anybody listening to me. So I was like, I can do whatever I want. And that's where like you hear like the carefreeness and like the lyrics and the production. It's just like we were just vibing. So that's kind of like the basis of it.
Okay. And listening to it, just like the little beginning part, it actually reminds me of, have you heard the song Ask DNA?
I have not.
It features as the intro to Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah. It features as an intro to that.
I didn't
and
realize
it
that.
also features in the Cowboy Bebop movie through most of the movie. It's pretty good. Is there anything that you want to plug and get attention to?
So I put out my debut EP last year in March. It's called Beginning of All Things Special, and it's like an acronym for boats. So like you're going on an adventure. You're just gonna sail out for like, I think it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes, something like that. It's very short. I'm really proud of that project. It was the first one I ever put out. So go listen to that. And I'm also, like I said, working with a lot of big EDM producers, so you might hear me on your favorite playlist soon.
So guys, if you want to hear any more of Austin's music, you can check him out on Spotify, SoundCloud, anywhere else.
Apple Music, can't think of anything else. iTunes, everywhere. It's really everywhere.
Apple Music, anywhere that you can stream music from. And we will be right back after this commercial break.
Well, that's it for this episode of Lowdown. Make sure to tune in next time for more great content.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at ZTV Lowdown.
Also, make sure to catch up on all of our interviews on our YouTube channel at ZTV Lowdown.
If you know anyone in the Akron area that wants to possibly be featured, make sure to email us at ztvlowdown@gmail.com.
Well, that's all for this episode
On Lowdown.